Hi everyone, welcome to the Baby Sleep Magic podcast. My name is Chantal Murphy and today's episode is a recording from a recent workshop I hosted. This particular workshop was targeted for babies between the age of 6 and 12 months of age. So if you do find this information valuable, please feel free to share it with a friend or another mum.
Once they wake up at 6-ish, when they wake up, take them out into the living kitchen dining area and then offer them their first feed of the day at that point. Ideally not in bed or in their bedroom. When they're awake, we want them to be awake. We want them to understand that this is daytime, this is wake time, you can talk normally, take them out into the living dining room, have it bright, light, open, TV on, and then offer them their first milk feed. Whether they're breastfeeding or bottle feeding, I would advise at this point not to offer a full milk feed at the first beginning of the day. Offer half, because we just want to take the edge off. We want to give them some milk, but we don't want to engorge them too much, because what's going to happen within 30 minutes, half an hour, you're going to offer them breakfast, and if they're full, they're not going to have a lot. They'll have a teaspoon of this and a teaspoon of that, and then they're going to turn their nose up and they're not going to be that interested. So if you can offer a little bit of milk, so if you're on a bottle it might be 60 mils, 70 mils. If you're boobing it might only be one side, or time it. If they're 10-minute feeders you might want to pull them off after 5. And let them bump around for a little bit, half an hour crawling around, being busy, and then set them up for breakfast. But breakfast, in terms of food, timing again is key. There's no point putting your little one in the high chair, getting into the kitchen, whipping up your wheat bix, and then getting it all ready, and then coming back and feeding, because they've already been in that chair by this point for nearly 4 or 5 minutes. Their patience level now is 0. You go to them with a spoon, they'll probably have 2 or 3 mouthfuls, and now they're like done, they want out. So timing is key. So don't put your baby in the high chair until the food and the drink bottle and the concoction and the temperature and everything is ready to go in their mouth. Timing is key. So you've probably got around about 9 to 10 minutes to feed. And if you're in the kitchen for half of that, your moment's gone. So preparation is key. So make sure at this age, breakfast might look like 1.5 wheat bix with a bit of toast for breakfast, and it needs to be fed to them within about 9 to 10 minutes. So again, you would put them in there, you would toast the toast, butter the toast, put some avocado or whatever you want on it. And at this age, you wouldn't cut it up into fingers, ideally. You might want to cut it up into squares. What they do with squares, they can pick them up and they can chuck them in their mouth and chomp on them. As long as it's squares like, 2 centimetres by 2 centimetres. If it was more like a finger, they're probably going to pick it up and suck the top of it. And that's not going to ingest, it's not going to fill them up too much. But if you cut it up and it's more like little bite-sized pieces, that's on their tray and they're doing that while you're in the background in 9 minutes feeding them the wheat bix concoction or the porridge or whatever you've decided to do. But at this age they're capable of having 1.5 wheat bix with probably like some pear puree mixed into it, warmed up, make sure it's warmed up. Babies don't really like cold breakfast, so with wheat bix, even if you're breastfeeding, I will just add boiled water. You don't need to add milk or even formula, just a bit of boiled water to it. Make sure it's warm, a little bit of pear puree into it, and then with some toast cut up into little pieces, and then they would have that for breakfast. And all that's going to be done in 9 minutes. Then once they've had that, get down, they can run around like this again for another half an hour, and then you can offer more boob, because that's the second half of the boob that they're going to get. So they're not missing out on any milk, you're just kind of doing it differently, prioritising food a little bit. So milk first, a little bit of milk, then food, and then more milk afterwards. And then by then, it will be time for the first nap of the day. And we'll talk about how to achieve that in a minute. And they're not going to go to sleep and stay asleep if they're not full enough. So what you might want to do, you may want to keep that last milk feed up the sleeve just before they go to bed. Because you've given them the first milk feed when they wake up, followed by breakfast. You might want to keep the second top-up feed ready for when they're just about to go down for a nap. And that's where you, if you want to continue feeding them to sleep for now, you can by doing that. Or if you didn't want to and you want to just completely veer off that, feed them in the lounge room. So the lights are on, the TV's on, they're not going to, this is not their opportunity to doze off. This is business, we're filling up their tummy, ready for them to go down for a good nap.
Yeah, he falls asleep even with the TV on and everything.
Yeah, so if that happens, and if you don't want it to happen, undress him. Just have his nappy on. So even when you've got to change him, and he's going to stir and wake up from that. If you want to stay away from that.
Yeah.
So once he goes down for his nap, ideally they're going to nap for anywhere over an hour is a good nap. An hour and a half is perfect, but I do say never wake a sleeping baby. We'll get there in a minute, how to achieve that. I get text messages from mum saying, I need to now wake my baby. So it is possible, it can happen. So yeah, once they wake up, your baby, mainly these two, once they get to around 7 to 8 months of age, they can have morning tea at this age. So morning tea at this age would be something like banana bread, date loaf, mini little pikelets, something like that, something quite dense, something quite substantial. You're more, at this age, you might want to just do some more milk when he wakes up in replacement for morning tea. When he starts to show he's not interested in milk, which will probably be another month away, then replace that milk feed with some morning tea. Because we need to keep filling them up during the day. So what we don't want to do during the day for morning tea is fruit, crackers, blueberries, strawberries, cheese. It's just not enough. They're burning it off so much, as you can see just in this space of 10 minutes, they're just all over the place. They're just burning off calories faster than you could give it to them. So more substantial food is going to be key at morning tea. And again, you don't want to put them in the high chair at this point. You just want to, while they're busy like this and distracted, break off pieces of whatever you've got to offer, bite-sized pieces, and pop it in their mouth. You don't necessarily want to put them in a high chair and spoon feed. If you'd had to do that every time they needed to feed, they'd be in the high chair all day. So especially for morning tea and afternoon tea, break off pieces and offer it to them on the go. Whether you're in the pram or at home, or you don't really want to give it to them because they're going to smush it, squash it, and it's just going to get everywhere. It's not even going to end up in their tummy. So break off pieces of whatever you've decided and pop it in their mouth for morning tea. Around about an hour or so after morning tea would be lunch. So lunch would be at this age, even him, it would be something like a full banana with half an avocado mashed in, a pouch of yogurt, and a sandwich. Believe it or not. Lots of food. Lots of food.
Yeah,
so
you're feeding them, but I don't know.
Not yet. Because you're probably doing a lot of food. So we need to start reducing the amount of food, whether he's having it on demand or whether he's having big feeds every 3 hours, and start replacing with food. Do not leave your baby alone because they get distracted, frustrated, and then they get bored. You've got 9 minutes to feed. So literally heat up everything, prepare everything, cut it, blitz it, drink bottle ready, have spoons lined up, have everything ready, pop them in the chair, go. Give them their own spoon to play with, keep them distracted, give them a toy. This little girl the other day, she had a toy, we gave her a toy, a little rattle thing, and that was all she needed. Before that, she was trying to push the spoon away. She wasn't interested, but we gave her a toy, and that was all she needed. She tried to put that in her mouth, and every time she put that in her mouth, I put the food in, and 10 minutes, the food was gone, and her tummy was full. So it's just how you offer it. And also making sure that they're not too filled up on milk, otherwise they won't eat. That's a given. They won't eat either. So we need to ensure they're not having too much milk, but still offering them what they need to have as well with the milk. So once they've had lunch, then they would need to have their second nap of the day. And generally speaking, if they've had a decent amount of food, they've had a full boob feed by then, they've had potentially 1.5 wheat bix with some pear puree, a piece of toast, a piece of banana bread, a full banana, half an avocado, a pouch of yogurt, and a sandwich. They're going to have a good sleep. They should have a good sleep. It's like when we go to a buffet, all you can eat, what do we do when we go home? We just want to veg out and have a nap. And that's how we want them to feel after they've had all this food. And we don't want to stuff them like a chicken. We want them to eat what they're prepared to eat. And if they're not prepared, if they can't eat all that today or tomorrow, that's expected and that's fine. But over the next 2 weeks to a month, he should build up. Those portion sizes should build up, given his age. Then we'll put them down for a lunch nap, which ideally is around about 1.5 to 2 hours as well. When they wake up, they have afternoon milk, so that's not as much as they'll have. 1 boob, both boobs, full bottle, whatever they can have at afternoon nap. And then dinner would be anywhere between 4:30 and 5, depending on your day. The later you leave dinner, and literally it might only be 5 or 10 minutes, you might think 5 o'clock, oh yeah, I'll just start whipping that up now. 5:05, your moment's got. Just because towards the end of the day, they get frustrated, cranky, tired, and getting food into them when they're tired, I think you mentioned this before, it just doesn't happen. They might have 2 or 3 mouthfuls and then they're over it. They're just cranky, miserable, and all they really want to do is go to bed. So getting them to have dinner is key. Once they get around about 8 to 10 months old, you can start to introduce dessert. Once they're starting to eat all the other stuff to those portion sizes, then once you get to that point, you can start offering dessert. And that might be fruit, puree, watermelon. It doesn't have to be ice cream or anything like that, but just another opportunity to top them up when they get to a certain age. And then kind of bath, shower process, is that kind of what you do now, around about 6-ish, 30 mark, 7, depending on the bath?
Yeah, I think we usually try and hit the bath about 6. Yeah.
6-ish, yeah, that's about your stage. And then from there, you would then at that point go, after the bath or shower, you would then go into the room. Generally, I say dark room until offer the last feed, whether it's boob or bottle, and then you would do your bedtime process. Now, if bub is falling asleep on the boob at this point, or the bottle, is where I would advise to have the lights on. So keep the lights on, have bub undressed, just have a nappy on, so the opportunity there to fall asleep becomes a lot less, and they can't really completely doze off. And even if they do, you kind of got to stir them up to wake them anyway, to put their pyjamas on, their sleeping bag or whatever. And then, yeah. And at night time, these guys know the difference between night and day. They know night time's coming. They know they want the biggest feed at night. So after their bath, they're waiting for the biggest feed. So if your supply is low or less, and they're not getting as much as they need, they're going to fight you and they're going to cry for longer. So if you do both sides. Does he take both sides? He's happy? Any bottles?
I've already got one side, this one.
Is he happy though?
Yeah.
He's happy? Boob or bottle?
We're mixed feeding at the moment. I'm trying to wean him off.
Okay. Is he happy with what he gets at night time? No protesting?
Yeah, lately he's been protesting. I generally give him a bottle around 5.
Yep.
And then he has his dinner, and then I offer the breast before he goes to bed.
Yep.
Sometimes he's happy, other times like he just, yeah.
Okay, and what's with the bottle before dinner?
I think because my supply is getting low, so I just thought, well, there's
okay.
not a lot of left.
Does he have a bottle around afternoon tea time?
He has the bottle, yeah, anywhere between 4:30 and 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
So try and do the bottle more for when he wakes up from his second or third nap, depending on what he's probably going to be on 3rd naps now, isn't he? 3 naps.
Yeah,
Still
I'm lucky
3
if
naps.
I get 2 naps out of him.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he really fights any other naps.
Oh, that's hard. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute with fighting naps. But ideally, want him to have his afternoon milk feed anywhere between 3 and 4, and then dinner would be after that. Because we want a bit of a break, because we want him to have a good dinner.
Yeah.
And if he's had a milkshake an hour and a half before, he's not going to have that much feed.
Yeah.
So, okay, now when it comes to self-settling, I would advise, given your situation, it's more like the parental presence where you would be in the room with them until they finally go to sleep. And I would not advise doing this today when you go home. Don't do any type of sleep training as such during the day. You want to start anything new at night time. So after a full feed, after a bath, when night time is there, wind down time has been done, and you've got night time on your side. And at that point, if you wanted to, you could press go on the sleep training as such, which in this situation I would advise more like the parental presence, where you are literally in the room right beside the cot until he finally goes to sleep. But I probably would recommend working on calories, timings, comforter, and the room environment before you even press go, because that process can sometimes take 2 hours on the very first night. And what you don't want to doubt yourself on the very first night, if you went home and tried it tonight, is, oh no, he didn't eat much today, or no, he's not ready, or no, he doesn't even know what the comforter is, just keeps throwing it. You know, you don't want to have any self-doubt. So you want to be really confident in the decision that you're making, that when you decide to go ahead, that you're confident and you're ready and you can follow through consistently, because once you start the first night, as long as they're not sick or unwell or teething, you can carry on the next couple of nights. And it's a 10-night process. It takes 10 nights. So the process behind it would be 3 nights with you sitting right beside the cot until he goes to sleep, and that's followed through with day naps as well. And then it would be 3 nights in the middle of the room, 3 nights at the doorway, night 10, you're out. But generally by night 2 to 3, they already learn what to do and they already know how to do it. It's just now your presence is in the room for them and themselves. So, yeah, that's what I would advise moving forward, given the fact that you've been quite involved with the sleeping, whether you've been rocking to sleep, holding to sleep, helping him to sleep, moving him to sleep. That way you're still involved with the sleeping process, and even with getting off track, that's the most gentle way to kind of get back on track, because he's fallen asleep in the past on his own before, so he knows what to do, he knows how to do it. He just kind of needs to be nudged and reminded a little bit. Come on, buddy, you've got this, you know how to do it.
Yeah.
But before you do that, you want to ensure all your T's are crossed, I's are dotted, he's got the comforter, his tummy's full, he's eating well, the timings are all lined up, and you're ready. And start at night time. Yeah. And then that way, and at night time, if baby's still waking through the night getting feeds, I know you mentioned a lot, sometimes.
It's like every 3 hours.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
Feeding, but...
So babies, and this is the other thing, this is why he's not interested in food. Babies and toddlers control their own calories. So the more they have at night, the less they're going to need through the day. And this is with toddlers, 3 and 4 years of old age. If I see a toddler, I get called to a consult and they're having a bottle 2 or 3 times a day and they're waking up at night and they have 1 or 2 bottles randomly, they don't eat. These toddlers who are 3 and 4 years old, they don't eat because they're making up all the calories through milk. So, and your babies are doing the same, but at night time. So these guys are capable of only requiring 1 feed through the night. We can be a bit nicer, we don't need to do that from the get-go. I think what you could do though is...
I'd be happy with it. I'd be happy with it.
I think what we could do moving forward, even from tonight, is just doing 2 night feeds, but they need to be at least 4 hours apart.
Yeah, see, I find I try to get to the 4, but it always makes it the 3, and then I'm like, well, do I settle in and just wake up again? Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's what I find hard is I try and make the rule, look, if it's not been at least 3 hours, I'm not getting up like my husband.
Yeah.
And then, that's okay sometimes, but I think because of the teeth thing, it's just like, not yet. But yeah,
the thing is as
I
well,
try to the 4 hours, and it's just like...
once you start increasing the calories through the day, getting to 4 hours will become easier.
Yeah. See, I thought I was giving him enough, but the way you made it sound, I'm definitely not.
That's right. This is so typical of every family that I see.
And the way that it was explained to me is the milk is the main and food is just kind of like the extra.
And this is why babies don't sleep.
Yeah.
They're hungry.
It's the other way around.
Well, it is for me.
And the milk's
Well, we're still offering them value.
milk's the
That's
top.
right. That's right. Yeah. They're still getting the milk.
Yeah.
And I think
You're doing food as a priority.
I know my parents and my mum was like, milk first, food's an
this
extra, and his belly's this big as his fist, don't feed him any more than his fist, and that's what my mum has always told me.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, I could eat like 20 times that.
And they can.
It's like lactation can sort of that, but no milk, like
I know.
3 hours is
I know. It's a shame because
But they wean themselves as well. I know.
That's what I said to
he
you
goes
guys,
like
7
5
months.
minutes, and he's like, whereas it used to be like half an hour.
That's right. So you need
like,
to compensate it.
He's not getting enough from it.
If your baby was sleeping all night and feeding well through the day with boob and then I'd say don't change a thing.
Yeah.
God's sake, if your baby's having boob all day and sleeping all night and you have no problem, don't change a thing. But you guys are here because your baby's not sleeping and I'm telling you why. Self-settling is a portion of it, for sure, once they learn how to self-settle. But even once he learns how to self-settle, he's still going to wake up 2-3 times a night to get fed because he's hungry. When you start battling that during the day and giving him more calories through the day, he will start sleeping better at night, and even when you don't want to feed him, you're going to be able to settle him easier because he's fuller for longer. Yeah. So that's the biggest key, is to ensure that, and it doesn't mean stuffing them like a chicken. You've got 12 hours from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m.
Kind of treat him like a mini, like you,
Like
kind
us.
of like when we eat, you eat.
If we had salads
That makes sense.
all day and a shake all day for weeks, we'd want a bolognese before we went to bed.
Yeah.
For a steak. We want food. And they're the same. They're just constantly hungry and they're growing at such a fast rate and they're so active and they're so as healthy lovers anyway. And look at him, he's not undernourished at all.
and he's a chunker.
That's right. He's getting all these he's getting all these calories, a huge chunk of his calories at night. Where we can change it up. And it doesn't have to be changed today or tomorrow. This is the thing, it can be a process. So the process is introducing the comforter. That could take 2 or 3 weeks, if not longer. changing some timings to work and suit yourselves, what their wake windows are. Introducing more calories at certain times to make it work to their advantage as well. Without even sleep training. And this is the thing, because you're kind of halfway there with him, you can kind of leave him at some point and go in and tap him and vice, off and on. You might find, once you've introduced the comforter, the room's already super dark, put the white noise on, change the times a little bit if you need to, introduce more food to suit him at those certain times, you might find he might just start dozing off and sleeping better and longer without even doing the chair thing and the 10-day process. You might not even need to do that. So timings and food is key.
Thanks so much for listening. And just to recap on what we covered today, firstly, timing and preparation is key when it comes to preparing your little one's food. And also 10-minute feeds. Try not to get them in that chair for too much longer because they just have no tolerance and they have no patience. And the number one tip is babies and toddlers are very good at controlling their own calories. So the more you give them at night, the less they're going to want and be interested in having during the day. For any additional tips, head over to my Instagram page at Baby Sleep Magic and just refer to the highlight guys. On there you'll find mini videos on dark room, white noise, catnapping, self-settling, naps on the go, plenty of other stuff there as well to have a look at. So thanks again, and I'll see you next week.